There is a unique atmospheric weight attached to the concept of a whispering shadow. It describes a threat that separates itself from the background, something that lingers in the corner of your eye, always one step ahead of the investigator. This case file begins in 1933. Moviegoers sat in theaters like this to watch Bela Lugosi in a 12-part serial about a criminal mastermind who controlled an underworld gang through radio waves. Case File 2 appears in 2019 inside the pages of D.E. Knight's fantasy novel, The Girl with the Whispering Shadow. Here, Ivy Lovely is pursued by a dark magical force that mimics her every move. And Case File 3 brings us to the year 2026. Players of the medieval epic Crimson Desert encounter whispering shadows as main quest number 110, a mission focused on infiltration and memory retrieval. These three properties are separated by nearly a century. They exist in different mediums and cater to entirely different audiences, yet they share a title and a core narrative motif with startling precision. We need to determine if this recurrence is merely a coincidence of language, or if it reveals a specific storytelling formula that remains effective regardless of when or how the story is told. A whispering shadow relies on a lack of visibility. To make the threat feel credible, the writer must strip away the safety of broad daylight and trap the protagonist in a restricted, isolated setting. The 1933 serial achieves this by moving the mystery into Professor Strang's Wax Museum, a cluttered, claustrophobic environment where the line between a statue and a hidden killer is blurred. In the 2019 novel, the protagonist is banished to the town of Belzebuth. This location is shielded by magical clouds and exists under a permanent, star-filled night sky, creating a world where it is never truly morning. The 2026 video game uses Sungrove Manor to the same effect. It is a guarded, private estate that the player must infiltrate, turning a grand home into a maze of restricted hallways and hidden corners. Across a film serial, a book, and a game, the environmental requirement remains the same. The protagonist is forced into a state of isolation, making a confrontation with the shadow unavoidable. To counter an invisible threat, the protagonist requires a specialized tool. In each of these eras, that tool represents the cutting edge of what that specific culture finds powerful or mysterious. For the 1930s, that power was the radio. The villain uses retro-futuristic electronic equipment and television rays to command his gang and strike from the shadows. The 2019 novel swaps technology for magic. Ivy Lovely uses enchanted quills and masters a supernatural combat game called Quogo to duel the specters that haunt her. In the 2026 game, players use the Visione helmet. This augmented reality device allows them to perceive memory fragments and solve light-based puzzles that are invisible to the naked eye. A vacuum tube radio, a magic quill, and a digital AR helmet serve the identical function, granting the protagonist the agency to see what others cannot. As real-world storytelling grows intricate, our fictional tools to track the shadow become increasingly complex, evolving from mechanical dials to elaborate digital simulations. In every instance, the shadow is defined by the tools used to fight it. It is always a threat tailored to be countered by the specific bleeding-edge concepts of the time. If the tools provide the how, the motive provides the why. We have to look past the gadgets to see what exact information the shadow is being used to hide. The 1933 serial is a revenge story at its core. Jack Norton is hunting the shadow to find the evidence needed to solve his brother's murder. In the 2019 novel, the quest is for the Kindred Stone. Finding these missing pieces is the only way to uncover the protagonist's royal history and stop the Dark Queen. And in the 2026 game, the player investigates the Countess to find a specific memory, one that reveals exactly what happened to a sister who has been missing for years. The shadow operates as a narrative barrier. It isn't just a physical enemy, it is a wall standing between the protagonist and a deeply personal truth they are desperate to uncover. The verdict of this investigation is that the whispering shadow is a permanent archetype. It is a highly reliable narrative structure that creators return to across every generation. This archetype serves as a perfect vessel, allowing a story to feel like a grounded detective mystery. Our media formats are in a state of constant evolution, but we are consistently drawn to the same specific mechanics of mystery. we still find satisfaction in the process of entering the dark to retrieve a hidden truth. Whenever a shadow appears in our stories, it acts as a mirror. It reflects the technological tools of its era while serving our timeless interest in the secrets hidden just out of sight. Case closed.